Hey, what's up, y'all? Thanks for tuning in. Ray here from Gray's Dynamics. Esport dudes don't matter at all, and we need to stop paying attention to them because they really don't matter. I know you disagree with that, or maybe you agree, but before we get to that, thank you to Matt at Simulation RS for being my sponsor. Check him out on Etsy. All of my 3D printed stands and many of the parts that I have and things I've done for wheels, I've gotten from him. So do check him out again on Etsy, Simulation RS. As always, thank you guys for following me, tuning in, subscribing, liking. But members, thank you again. I can't believe you guys support me month over month. I really appreciate it. You don't have to do it, but you do. So I always say thank you from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you paying it forward to me. And I hope that by you getting access to these videos sooner, it adds some value to your life. So appreciate it. Thank you. So, like we were just saying, this video won't make some of you happy, but esports guys don't matter.
Oh, that's gonna hurt!
And I say that as somebody who loves sim racing. But I'll be honest, I don't consume many esports guys. There's one I follow, Owen Carroll, and that's pretty much it. I do occasionally check out Casey Kerwin, but most of the time I don't watch any of the... They're not important to me, not because they don't have tremendous speed and are not super fast, but let's be honest. What the market is looking for in sim racing is not an esports guy, because an esports guy gets a basic setup. Esports guys don't keep the sim racing realm moving forward. Esports guys may only play one sim, to be honest. They may only drive one car. So an esports guy is really not going to consume the level of content that you or I will consume as a consumer. We're casual. We jump in, we race, we buy a ton of gear, we buy motion rigs, we buy 160/40 profile rigs, we get FIA approved seats, we go out and get headrests that make our necks feel comfortable, we jump in a million different types of cars, we buy setup shop setups, we don't make them our own. We go online and we buy AMS2, LMU, iRacing, ACC, AC, Project Motor Racing's coming. We're going to get that too. AC Evo, like all these games we purchase. F125, people play R Factor 2 and Project Cars, like all of these games. Gran Turismo on console. Like think about all of the stuff that we purchase as racing fans, as racing enthusiasts, as sim racing sycophants, as many will say. Like, we spend the money. Esports guys don't, and they don't matter to sim racing. Like, Max Verstappen is one of the fastest out there when it comes to sim racing. There are plenty just as fast or faster. There are plenty of guys who compete at esports. And you don't know who half or even 1% of them probably are, unless they have a huge online presence, or you're just really into sim racing and the nicheness of it. I love sim racing. I have a lot of gear. You guys know that. I buy a lot of wheels. I work for a sim racing company, Virtual Racing School, which implores both real life and esports drivers. Like, we make setups, we provide all of those things, and we consume them as the 80% casual fan who goes out and buys all the gear, who started out on a Logitech or a used Fanatec, or for myself, playing sim racing games for the last 2 decades plus. I mean, I remember the first Gran Turismo. So for me, like, all of these things really were important growing up, and that's what moved me to where I am today. But esports guys, we have to stop giving them value. They don't matter to sim racing. They don't buy Hyper P1s like we do. They don't buy the Cube Controls wheels. They get a setup and they rock with it. They might have a GSI wheel, but that'll be the only one. Whereas you look at my shelf, I've got 15 or 16 wheels and I've reviewed 40 or 50. And trust me, if I could own every one of them, I absolutely would. And I'd have a wall full of wheels, and I'll have multiple sim rigs, and I'll have motion. And most of you guys who follow me are just like me. That's why you follow. Or maybe you watch my stuff and you don't follow. So again, I go back to this. Esports guys don't matter in the grand scheme of sim racing. And if you think they do, go back and look how much gear they purchase. Very little. They're esports guys. They get their gear likely from their team. They may have advanced and gotten some basic setup, but once they find a wheel that works, like many people will use the VRS Formula Pro wheel. And that's a very vanilla wheel in the world of today. It doesn't have LED backlights. It doesn't have thumb encoders. Doesn't have any of the fancy things on it. The wheel's built like a tank and it'll last a lifetime. But that's not what the casual fan. And when that wheel came out, we all know the negative comments it got because it was priced too high for the market. If you were just an esports guy, you'd be like, this is great. It does everything I needed to do. It's basic. It has good grips, and I can run with it. But that didn't make the market happy because it didn't have LED backlit buttons. It didn't have all of the features that you wanted to have, like the thumb encoders and the back buttons and additional shifters at $1,000. You look at the Bavarian SimTech Alpha compared to that wheel for the exact same price, and many people were left like, well, wait a minute. And that wheel wasn't out at the time, but at the time, you would have been like, wait a minute, one of these things is not like the other. Because you're more focused on the casual stuff. All of the LEDs we rock, the DDUs we put in front of us with all of the LEDs and the different LEDs that shine and light up and do all the fancy animations, using Lovely Racing, which you guys know I'm a partner with Lovely Racing, so that's pretty cool, pretty cool, pretty cool. But with that being said, like using the stuff with Lovely Racing and using, the Yope LEDs from iRacing and using ATSR to make your wheel do some really cool things and add your ambient lights and do all those cool things. Like all of those things are for the casual guy. Like, let's be honest. So esports guys like Max Verstappen and his team Redline, all of the guys who do, Apex Racing and Apex Racing Academy and all the setups that they create for users like me to use, which I absolutely love, on top of the VRS setups. Like you get all of these cool things. But esports guys are not consumers like you and I. And they don't matter to sim racing. They really don't. It's like LeBron James is one of the best basketball players in the world. Now, the market for basketball is different than the market for sim racing. But people pay attention to LeBron. He moves the needle. There's not one sim racer that does. Like, there are people who race in real life who have become big enough brands. Some of them I can think of, like Jimmy Broadbent is massive. But who has more gear, Jimmy Broadbent or Will from Boosted Media? Will from Boosted Media has far more gear. Companies send him droves of gear because he can get the casual guy, the guy who knows nothing about sim racing, to go out and get a brand new sim rig, to buy that Moza wheel, to buy that Sim Magic wheel, now to buy VRS gear, obviously. I mean, which, let's be honest, that's what we want. We want the fun stuff. Motion rigs are not for esports guys. Motion rigs are not for the pro driver. They're cool, but they don't add any value for those individuals. And many times they say it makes them slower. It doesn't add any input that makes them faster. For me, it would add a significant level of immersion, and that's what I'm going for. Is it going to make me faster? It could. In theory, it could add some level of feedback that I don't get right now sitting in a stationary rig, but I also drive a ton of different cars. So e-racing guys typically drive one type of car. I love Owen Carroll. He's a GTP guy. Every now and then you'll see him in a GT3, and he's rightfully quick in a GT3 because he understands the mechanics of driving these cars and just how to drive in general. But he's significantly faster and more competitive in the GTP. Casey Kerwin, NASCAR winning, he has switched over to IMSA and he's naturally quick. They put him in the sim in real life and he is naturally quick. And he could potentially be one of those guys that if he ever wanted to, could potentially, maybe, sort of, move into real life racing. But again, he's not the guy who's going to move the needle to get you to buy a new wheel. In fact, I think he uses the GSI Formula Pro Elite V1, not even the V2. So again, like, esports guys don't matter to sim racing. They matter to esports. And you have to separate the two. Anybody who says they matter to sim racing, please drop a comment down below. Let me know why they do. Let me know what you think about what I'm saying. But I don't believe they move the needle. I don't believe they are the reason why you go out and buy a GSI Hyper P1. In fact, the reason why you'll probably buy it is because you see me review it, you see Will review it, you see Dan Suzuki review it, you see, Dave Cam review it, you see Lawrence DeWosa, and all these guys that, you might see them review it. And please be mindful. Come out to the Sim Gaming Expo in Chicago, where you'll meet me and many of the guys I may have mentioned there. So again, it'll be fun. Chicago, September 5th through the 7th. I will be there and having some fun, as well as with VRS. So you'll see us all. With that being said, let me know what you think. Comment down below. Let me know what you think matters. Esports, I don't think they do. And I guess you'll let me know if they don't. or they do. Anyway, I'll talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. Big fan of you. Thank you for being a big fan of me, and I'll appreciate it. Peace.